I don't think I really started thinking about all of this until, yeah, 10 months ago. As much as the transition to coming from MPA and living in the States might have given me pause to reflect on my life philosophy. I still had this part in my brain, which I'm ashamed to admit, was it doesn't matter what Harbhajan did. My practice and my experience are solid, and nothing will ever change that. Um,
Wow. I want to just pause and say that's a common thought. That's
yeah,
in that one.
yeah, and I didn't want to start this process. It wasn't something that was a choice, or I was like, okay, now I'm going to start feeling like everything in my life is questionable. It's not my choice.
Pick up and decide you wanted that one.
And I see such value in it, even though it's painful. I see again, the ways that it's enabling me to explore with my own language through my own body to say the things that I'm actually feeling and not push that on others, but just say this is how I feel.
Tremendous.
So I mean, going back to when I was baptized, similar to Dharam into Sikhism, I remember there was even talk of all of the abuse of Harbhajan sleeping with his secretaries. And I said that to Dharam the day I was baptized. I said, maybe it's true. I agreed that, like, yeah, maybe he did sleep with them, and maybe, in my mind, it's a consensual relationship, which I, hadn't even explored the possibility of it not being consensual. I'm 17, and I say, maybe it's true, but that doesn't change how I feel about me practicing my practice, or my, sticking to these things that I hold so dear. And I also relate it to, as all of these stories started coming out, I had this pendulum held up here for so long, and everything started to come out, of I started to realize, like, okay, this was not consensual, and it was happening, and it was abusive, and it was not in line with what I thought I was practicing, not in line with what I thought he was teaching. And this pendulum started to swing, and I have this need in me to not let it swing to the other side. And that's painful because there's a fear that if it swings to the other side, I'll be what I have judged in the past of, oh, this person lost their faith, they lost their practice, they dropped, their strength. Because how many times in Ardas did we say, did I say personally, please bless Sri Singh Savana, his whole title, he is thy most humble servant, and feel it and believe it. And, living by that life philosophy, that if you doubt that, you're just in the grip of some poisonous, that's not going to go away in another 10 months. I think it's going to be years.
You mean for this to start being dissolving inside of you, to be?
Yeah, I believe it's dissolving inside of me, but it's a large structure, and deconstructing it, because my choice is not to just explode it, which some people is just blow it up and start from zero. I feel like my choice is to deconstruct it with a consciousness that I can see the parts that are coming out one by one. That may change.
Absolutely. In any way that it happens for you is your right way. I just find it so beautiful that you're facing that with, like, eyes wide open, heart wide open, and saying, wow, the whole structure of my view of life is called into question, and who am I beyond this veil? And rather than jump that cliff, it's like I'm going to walk steadily and I'm going to feel the ground beneath me.
Yeah.
Mm. I think you've just brought up some really, really important points in your shared story and your shared experience that I can feel that you're actually like in real time processing.
Yeah. Thank you.
It's just so not easy to share ourselves in these vulnerable spaces where we don't have it all figured out. We just know that what was no longer exists, and what's becoming is the question. But I'm here, I'm present with that process, and it sounds like you're so right there with that. And it's courageous, and I really invite listeners to hear this, because to me this is what it means to have conversations about our experiences. It's not about analyzing and figuring it all out. It's just saying, whoa, I see a hole poked here, here's another hole poked, and things are dissolving, and I don't want it all to disintegrate. I want to have a sense of myself along the way.
Yeah. I appreciate that so much.
I appreciate you. I appreciate our community so much.